Prime Minister Narendra Modi has concluded his historic three-day state visit to the United States. It has been described by many as a path-breaking visit, one that has cemented India-US ties and taken them to the next level. During his final engagement in the US, when Prime Minister Modi addressed the Indian diaspora, he summed up his visit by saying, "In these 3 days, in India and US relations, a new and glorious yatra or journey has begun. The new journey is about our cooperation for Make in India and Make for the World. Together, the US and India are not just forming policies, we are shaping lives, dreams and destinies. Be it on convergence on global issues or tech transfer, both countries are taking strong steps for a better future." Earlier, at a meeting with top business honchos from the two countries, President Biden gifted a special T-shirt to Prime Minister Modi. This T-shirt had Prime Minister Modi's rather quotable quote on AI printed on it. "The future is AI, America and India." That is the new definition for AI that Prime Minister Modi gave during his address to a joint session of the US Congress. President Biden too said on multiple occasions that India-US ties will define the 21st century. This visit has seen many epoch-making deals and big-ticket announcements. Let's take a look at some of the key takeaways. Most agree that the one area where there have been the biggest breakthroughs is that of defense ties and technology cooperation. American giant General Electric and India's Hindustan Aeronautics Limited signed a memorandum of understanding to jointly produce fighter jet engines for the Indian Air Force with significant transfer of technology. It's been termed a game changer and a trailblazing initiative. Remember, this is the first time that the US is sharing such sensitive technology with a non-ally. Technology that only 4 countries in the world currently possess. Another major deal has been on India procuring cutting-edge Predator drones from an American company. These drones will substantially enhance the Indian Armed Forces surveillance and strike capabilities. Leading American technology firm Micron will set up a mega semiconductor facility in India, the first of its kind in the country. In the area of quantum advanced computing and artificial intelligence, the two sides have established a joint Indo-US quantum coordination mechanism to facilitate joint research between the public and private sectors. Google CEO Sundar Pichai announced that the tech giant will be opening its global fintech operations center in Gujarat and invest $10 billion in India's digitization fund. India has joined the Artemis Accords, a joint exploration of Moon and Mars. H-1B visa rules have been changed, and that's likely to make life easier for many Indians working in the US. The two sides will open new consulates in both countries to enhance people-to-people ties and travel. India and the US have also agreed to terminate 6 outstanding disputes at the World Trade Organization, and India has joined the Mineral Security Partnership that aims to create critical energy supply chains. Indian solar panel maker Vikram Solar Limited will invest $1.5 billion in the US solar energy supply chain. On the show today, we're asking, is the future indeed AI, America and India?
ये सारे समझौते, ये एग्रीमेंट्स सिर्फ कुछ नीतियों को आगे बढ़ाना मात्र नहीं है। ये भारत अमेरिका के करोड़ों लोगों के भाग्य को नई ऊंचाई देने का काम हुआ है। टुगेदर we are not just forming policies and agreements. We are shaping lives, dreams, and destinies.
It was an honor to meet Prime Minister Modi during a historic visit to the US. The excitement here, in terms of seeing the progress India has made, particularly around the vision of digital India and the economic opportunity. And I had met the Prime Minister in December, and we continued our conversation. And we shared, Google is investing $10 billion in the India Digitization Fund, and we are continuing to invest through that, including in companies working on AI. As part of that, we have a 100-language initiative. We are bringing BARD to more Indian languages very soon. And we are also excited today that we are announcing the opening of our Global FinTech Operations Center in Gift City, Gujarat. And it'll cement India's FinTech leadership thanks to UPI and Aadhaar. And we're going to build on that foundation and take it globally. So we are very excited at the progress, and with the advent of AI, I think the opportunity for India to make more progress is definitely exciting, and we're going to support the Prime Minister's vision there. His vision for digital India was ahead of its time. I now see it as a blueprint other countries are looking to do. And the follow through on the scaling up of India's digital stack is a model other countries are thinking about. And I think it's something which will be important in G20 as well, which is obviously happening in India. So it's a real exciting to see the progress, his commitment towards the economic growth for India, and we are glad to be partners in that journey.
Well, this was a historical moment and a pivotal moment. When you look at the last 3 days, Prime Minister has met from New York to CEOs in Washington, D.C., the White House State Dinner, the White House 21-gun salute, and now today with his leadership. You are seeing a much, much stronger interest in India, not only just purely from an FDI perspective, but from an innovation perspective. And he said that the partnership between U.S. and India is going to benefit the world. So to me, this was a great event, great trip of the Prime Minister. Well, I think you have to understand the trade is growing between India and the U.S. In every aspect, regardless of a trade deal or not. You have to also understand that geopolitically, both countries are aligned vis-a-vis China. And a lot of U.S. companies are saying, how do we de-risk our supply chain? And they're looking at India as a potential source for that de-risking. And also you have to understand that India, as India's economy grows, it is now $3.75 trillion, growing at 7%. The purchasing power parity of the citizen goes up, and they're going to buy more and more American goods and services. So I think it's a win-win value proposition for both countries.
An investment bank based out of DC, helping with sustainable infrastructure, digital infrastructure, and healthcare infrastructure for US and Indian customers. I think he instills a lot of confidence. He inspired us to do more, and he wants us to be part of the revolution that India is on to become the third largest economy in the next 5 years.
Well, Prime Minister Modi's speech, as always, is very articulate. He covered all the progress that India has made, and the partnership in particular between United States and India, which has been flourishing. It's amazing what has happened just in the last 3 days in terms of just elevating it to a completely new level across defense, across technology, and it's heartening to see just the collaboration between the two countries. Well, I mean, I think in one of the sentences, Prime Minister Modi talked about conviction, compassion and commitment. I thought those 3 C's really wrapped it up really well. The trust and commitment required to execute on some of the actions. A lot of people talk about things, but it's really about executing on those actions. So I think with the track record and the commitments from both Joe Biden and Narendra Modi, I think great things to come.
Chief Operating Officer of T-Hub. T-Hub is the largest innovation campus in the world, and we support startups across 25 sectors. And we incubate approximately around, we have a capacity of incubating around 1,000 startups in our physical capacity, in our physical facility at Hyderabad. And we also support another 2,500 startups across around 25 odd sectors. First, his speech is always inspirational, one. Second is, I think there was a lot of emphasis laid on the Indo-US relationships. I think the intent, not only during his speech, but also we had pretty in-depth interactions with both the DoD, between the DoD and MOD. I'm part of the delegation which the MOD has brought to US. Right from the polity level, to the second line, which actually plans out and rolls out, the intent is pretty clear to work towards a common goal. Those goals were sort of getting realized, and also there was a lot of framework, work on the framework has started on how these goals can materialize into objectives, activities, and outcomes in the near future.